Oneshell Media International proudly presents
5 books bound in human skin.
Number 5. Burke's Notebook.
As we have seen, there was a need for bodies to be used in dissection by doctors in the 19th century. Most of their cadavers came from executed criminals, but sometimes there were just not enough bodies to go around. That was where the resurrection men came in. They supplied medical schools with corpses by digging up the recently deceased. Sometimes they cut out the middleman and made the dead bodies themselves. They turned to murder. William Burke and William Hare committed around 16 murders to provide Edinburgh University Medical School with cadavers. Hare gave evidence against Burke and was allowed to go free. Burke was sentenced to death, with the judge adding, "Your body should be publicly dissected and anatomized. And I trust that if it is ever customary to preserve skeletons, yours will be preserved, in order that posterity may keep in remembrance your atrocious crimes." Burke's body was duly dissected, and his skin was removed and turned into leather. From this was bound a little notebook with fine gilded tooling and the words, "Burke's Skin Pocketbook," on the front. It even came with a pencil inside to make notes with.
Number 4. The Gold Bug.
Edgar Allan Poe was one of the masters of eerie and strange tales in the 19th century. If auction records are to be believed, one of his works ended up covered in human skin. The Gold Bu is a short story about a man bitten by a golden beetle and the hunt for a hidden pirate treasure. The treasure seekers find human skeletons, so perhaps it is apt that this book is supposedly bound in human skin. The copy which was put up for sale includes several inscriptions about the binding. One reads, "Dear John, what a tribute to the morbid death-loving Poe to find the gold bug in human skin." The leather is decorated with a sickle, a shovel, and the gold bug itself descending into a skull. It sold for $1,020.
Number 3. The Land of the Sky.
Camille Flammarion was a famous French astronomer of the early 20th century. But his interests also took in the supernatural. He was also known for making somewhat extraordinary claims, such as Martian attempts to contact Earth and that gas from Halley's Comet might end all life on our planet. He was not without his fans, however, as we shall see. A young French countess was said to be so obsessed with Flammarion that she had a portrait of him tattooed on her skin. When she became deathly ill with tuberculosis, she made a request to her doctor. He was told to have a piece of skin taken from her back, turn it into leather, and give it Flammarion to be used to bind one of his works. This was done, and Flammarion chose a work called The Land of the Sky to be the lady's final resting place. Flammarion had a message placed on the front of his book that reads, "Pious fulfillment of an anonymous wish. Binding in human skin, woman, 1882.
Number 2. The Dance of Death.
It is perhaps not unsurprising that many books bound in human skin deal with macabre matters. Humans have long been interested in the topic of death, so there are plenty of texts that might be embellished with a bit of human flesh. Hans Holbein was the great artist of Henry VIII's court. As well as grand and intimate portraits, he was also a skilled illustrator. In the 1520s, he created images relating to death that were published in a work known as The Dance of Death. Many of the woodcuts included satirical subtexts, such as a king dining with skeletons to show that even the highest monarch is mortal. It was a copy of this book that was bound in white human skin. Today it sits in the stores of Brown University's library, not on display to the public. The archive details describe it as being decorated with arrows, knuckle bones, and death's heads. Analysis of the proteins in the leather confirms it is human, but who gave their skin for the book remains unknown.
Number 1. The Highwayman.
The Boston Athenaeum is a private library founded in 1807. Nestling among its many old books is one titled, In Full, Narrative of the Life of James Allen, alias George Walton, alias Jonas Pierce, alias James H. York, alias Burley Grove, the Highwayman, being his deathbed confession to the warden of the Massachusetts State Prison. At first, it just looks like any other 19th century work bound in fine white leather. But on its front cover, there is a Latin inscription stating, "This book is bound in the skin of Walton." The Walton in question was the man who authored the book, George Walton, who made his ill-gotten money by burglary and highway robbery. He was an honest sort of thief, however, in that he did not like to take a person's life, unless he had to. One of those he tried to rob, John Fenno, fought back. This manly resistance so impressed Walton that when he was dying of lung disease in prison, he ordered a copy of his confession to be bound in his skin and presented to Fenno. Please like and subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates.